Okay, here we are on the Firestone radio chassis. We've got the push button assembly back in. We got all the caps replaced. The electrolytic's been moved underneath the chassis. I've yet to go through and double check all the resistors, and the sockets have been cleaned. The volume control still needs to go back in, and the rest of the stuff on the top side. We managed to, before capping, to get the chassis cleaned and refinished and coated. I still yet to get the antenna coil mounted back in and interconnected. The tuning cap has been cleaned and lubricated. I have the dial panel being cured up right now. I'm going to put an auxiliary in on this. It seems to me that this thing would have had one. Let me double check that. Yeah. I'm not sure, but I don't see nothing here, and I don't remember taking anything out because the decal shows a phono setting, but I don't see no phono input. So I'm going to put one in there. A 3.5 millimeter jack, and we'll get it interconnected in. I got to get the fusing. I got the little fusey gizzy thingy there that I need to get in there, and get the cap remounted, get the structure put back in it, get it restrung, and we'll be ready for a checkout. So stay tuned. There's going to be more. Okay, I have seen the light, and it was right in my eyes, and I had another bad. I'm thinking that that cabinet has a phono thing here, and I'm thinking this is the chassis that goes in. That's the problem with me working radios in tandem. This chassis goes to a different cabinet that only has push buttons, AM, and shortwave. The one I'm thinking of that has the phono input is this one. It has 4 settings on it. Shortwave, 39 meter, 41 meter, blah blah blah, what did it be, and a phono. So I goofed it again, so I got straightened out. So we'll be moving on from here on. Okay, we got her this far. We're putting her back together. Got the dial panel back on the backdrop. Got it restrung. The lamps put back in it. Pressure lamps. The volume control is in and connected. The push button springies, boingies are back on. I am getting to the point that once this cures up, I've got some of that go-to glue to adhere the backdrop of the dial glass back to the panel. And then I've got me a makeshift gizzy thingy that's going to go on there for the dial pointer. I got some enameled wire, 16 gauge enamel wire that I'm going to use to make the pointer out of, and we'll get it fastened onto this with some good old JB. And so stay tuned. We're going to be winding the chassis up, at least anyway, so we can get her checked out and everything. I'm still waiting on the 697 cabinet to cure. I shot it yesterday evening, so I want to make sure that it's curing up real well before I start messing around with it, putting the guts back in it. So stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more. Okay, we're going to be moving on with this Firestone 7427-8 radio cabinet. Right now, I'm prepping it with, I want to attempt to take these louver chingies off of the front of the cabinet, so I can get a good overall sanded finish on the thing, because it's going to be a little too difficult to get in there to get some of the varnish or whatever off of the in between these openings. Right now I got it soaking with some Vinegar, and it looks like they may come loose. I looked on the inside. I pulled the speaker mount out of it, and the pocket in there doesn't indicate that they used any screws to hold these bars on, but they use screws everywhere else. I mean, this cabinet is nothing but screws. There's screws. The only thing that don't have screws in there are the blocks, the little wedgies. So I'm going to go ahead and make an attempt to getting the first one off, and if it comes off without a hitch, we're going to go through the rest of them. So stand by. Alrighty, the first one came off pretty easy. They did use small brads to hold the thing on, as well as some horse gut. So I'm guessing that all the rest of them are going to be similar and not just glued. It looks like the green is running the opposite way on the bar itself, so I guess there's no real worry about breaking it in half or breaking a portion of it. It did give loose rather easily, so the Vinegar works real good, at least at loosening the adhesive on the bar. So the only thing we really have to be real careful with is the brads, and not go too hot and heavy on the whack-a-doodle. So let me see how the rest of it's going to go. Alrighty then, we got all of the little block louvers off, and with one little minor issue. It didn't come off with the block. It was there when I took the block off, but I noticed that it was loose. So you see there's another one that might come loose again. I got to get this out in the sun and get it sun dried to deactivate some of this darn Vinegar. But I have the chip for it, so I can replace it. Very little issues. Most of this stuff is going to be hidden. We're going to sand her down real good, but we're going to let it air dry under the sun and get her going. I had to remove one side to get to the pins here and get them removed. There's all the little buggers right there. Two I had to cut with the cutting wheel. This one here and one on one of the louvers. Apparently one of these had one going the other way. God, I don't know how that happened. So anyway, now that makes it a hell of a lot easier to get in there and finish the thing, because now it's all, with the exception of these, it's all flat surfaces except for the radiuses, and those are easy enough to deal with. Because this here looks like the finish is pretty thick. You can see right here, there's a buildup of something there. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get this pins, these old feet pins removed, what's still there, and we'll get all the fasteners tightened up and check it for any other structural issues and get them tightened up, and then we're going to go to town. The chassis is sitting in the wings waiting, so we'll see you on the next portion.